Good afternoon, it's day 3 of my staycation. It is actually a little bit after 1 o'clock, it's 1:08. So you saw that I was quite busy this morning. Just to recap, walked the dogs, took Edward to school for his band rehearsal, for band camp. Then I took Willie to his middle school for middle school concert band orientation, and then he had a full hour worth of practice. So by the time it was 11:15, I took him to the diner. I had breakfast basically, because I didn't have breakfast yet at the time, and what you saw was a low-fat Greek yogurt with granola, fruit, and a drizzle of honey. It's really good, but he wanted to have a hamburger, so whatever. And then I ordered from them, I ordered lunch for Edward, and then we went back to the high school for 12:30 and dropped off his lunch, and you saw they're practicing. That was Mahler, I believe they were practicing. So now I got back home, I finished the big pots from last night, which I had let them kind of soak overnight. So I finished those and I did the stove. I'm not gonna do the floor yet. I'm gonna do that later on today. But right now the excitement is hardly contained here. I have to quilt. Okay, it's been 2 days now that I'm saying I gotta quilt, and I get sidetracked with a whole bunch of nonsense. Stuff happens, okay? So yes, I'm going to quilt the top, and then I'm gonna chit chat a little bit about quilting with you. Not that I should give you any kind of pointers, because I'm going by the seat of my pants here, or the skin of my teeth, whatever you want to call it. So I'll do that, and then the good thing is that dinner tonight for band for Edward is actually provided by the school. They're having a huge pizza and donut party, whatever they call it, the DPs, yeah, donut pizza party. And then I'll have to make dinner. Already got the chicken out, and that's about it. So yeah. let's go quilting. Okay, so I am super excited because I finally get to quilt the table runner I made for my mother-in-law for her birthday, and I need to mail it tomorrow evening or Friday afternoon to the latest, because I want to make sure, you know, with Labor Day weekend, it gets there by the 7th for her birthday. Now, I want to preface by saying that I am not a quilter, okay? I only did 3 quilts. One of them is a UFO, also known as unfinished project or unfinished opportunity. And that's the one with the lantern. So what I wanted to do, because that one I really wanted to have it quilted well, even though the top is done, I'm probably gonna send it out to have it quilted with the designs and stuff. But this one is small enough so I can actually roll it through the throat of my machine. That's the space that's between the block of the machine and where the needle is. So I can actually roll it and I can do some free motion quilting. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I have done it once before with my walking foot, and that was not free motion. It was just basically straight line, and I did a crisscross pattern. So today I'm actually going to do a free motion. So there's a lot of designs that I have in mind. Unfortunately, I am not all that well practiced at it, so I'm gonna keep it simple, you know, KISS, keep it simple, stupid. That's what I'm going to do. So first of all, this is a short table runner. My mother-in-law has 2 dining room tables. She has a very long one that seats 10 people, and then she has a kitchenette type one that only seats 4, 6 people if you really squeeze it. So this one is going to be for her little kitchenette, and it's the colors that match that area. The other one would be more in the red. So blue and green will match. So now everybody does whatever they want with their quilt, okay? The bottom line is that there are no rules. Whether you're a beginner or you are a seasoned quilter, the bottom line is that it's your work and it's your interpretation of the work, and it's basically your creativity that you put inside the quilt, in addition to lots of love, patience, and hard work, because it is difficult, but once you get the hang of it, it's actually not that bad. Okay, so what I like in quilts are all of the block patterns. I'm not necessarily one person who is going to be more interested in the free motion quilting, though some of them are absolutely extraordinary. But I'm more about the fabric. And then you have people who are the other way around. They'll do their blocks, whatever, but they're really looking forward to the quilting process. That's where the creativity goes into. You understand what I'm saying? So there's and then you have people who have creativity in both, okay? I guess because I'm a beginner, I'm more about the cutting and the piecing of the fabric than I am about the quilting. But this one in particular, because it has so many different patterns, and again, these were sample fabrics. This is not quilting fabric. This is generally upholstery fabric. So it's a little bit thicker, and that's okay. You can quilt with leather if you want to. I mean, there are no rules. You do whatever you want. It's your work, okay? But I noticed that I have some kind of abstract design here. I have some circles here, and I have some leaves here, and a repeat of the abstract design right here. So obviously I have to free motion different design in order for this quilt to look good. So what I want to do is keep it really simple in this area here, which is where I have the most designs. In the areas where I have the most design. Okay, so again, I'm going to stitch in the ditch and do the square. Okay, and then this is the frame like this. This is each block looks like this, right? All right. So in the area where I have the most design, which is this area here, I'm going to do Zentangles, which basically is going to look like this. It's going to be Can you see that? Okay. So it's basically going to be lines that are not straight and have little swirls in it. Okay. Okay, so this is called a walking foot, by the way. When you have your machine, this at the bottom are the feeding dogs, and what they do is that they grab the fabric and they move it backward. Okay, they're the feeding dogs. So my machine, actually, I cannot lower them. I have to use a plate so that the fabric can glide over it. But I'm not going to do that for the stitch in the ditch, because I need to be able to have the fabric be fed back. And then this one here, the feeding foot, the walking foot, does the same thing. It's got feeding dogs this way, and basically it's going to help me go through the fabric, especially thick fabric, in a breeze. So all I'm going to do right now is just test it, because I got to make sure that it's working right. I'm going to bring my fabric in. Okay, is it lowered? Yeah. Let's do it, but I gotta go very slow at first, alright? Because I'm afraid I'm gonna goof. And you know what? There is no mistakes in quilting. That's one of the rules. If I made a mistake, I made a mistake, and that's it. It's part of the charm, I guess. Alright, let's go really slow. Yeah, so this is not working out at all. I should have a basting spray. I have tension problems with my machine. I really do. So I have to rip all of this seam here. And I really I don't like the way it looks in the back. So I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to rip all the seams. I wasted an hour. That's okay. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to quilt it without the back. And then I'll fuse the back to it instead, because it's just not looking the way I want it to look. And some areas are really, really good. I don't know if you can see, but I have some areas where it's really, really good, okay, on both sides, front and back. And then I have some areas where, let me see, I have some area where very obviously, I don't know if you can see this, right? You see the thread right here? This is my the thread that's under, and the tension is wrong. So I'm just gonna rip the whole thing, and I'm gonna quilt the top to the batting only, and then I'll press this with the fusion instead. It's gonna be much easier that way. Okay, so if stuff like that happens to you, don't be frustrated, all right? Just walk away from it and go back. I was able to remove the entire top from the bottom with the sandwich in between, but did rip a few pieces here and there. None of the top of the quilt, but the bottom part. And as I was, you know, removing all the seams, I started brainstorming about how I'm going to save the day, basically, because I still want to finish it and I want to send it as a gift. And I'm telling you, she will very much appreciate the work, because she does some quilting, but very small, like pieces. And she always says she's not good at it. She doesn't have the patience. So I know she will appreciate this a lot. So I want to finish it. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to quilt the top to the batting only. And then I have a navy blue sheet downstairs that's brand new, actually. It's still in package. I'm going to press that, and I'm going to quilt that, probably with a similar design, to another piece of batting. And then I'm going to sandwich both so that they stay together, but I'm not doing like a full design quilt, just like a few things here and there. And then I'm going to seam it all around so that they stay together. I basically just need a few stitches here and there to keep it together. And then I'm going to use the old fabric that I ripped, the one with the foliage. I'm going to make bands out of that, and that's going to be my binding. So I think that actually is going to work out pretty good, but it takes patience. And you know what? That's the beauty about quilting. Some people take 3 years to finish a quilt. It's not about rushing. It's about taking your time. And despite a little bit of frustration here and there, mostly because of my machine, it's always had a tension problem. And my mom, when we bought it, I think it was in '94 in New York City, my mom right away said that this machine for some reason had a tension problem, and she has no patience. So when she was at the house, you know, she lived with us for a couple of months, and then she would go back to France and then live with us for a couple of months. And she loves sewing, but she's not into quilting at all, and doesn't want to quilt, by the way. I asked, she's getting rid of stuff right now. You know, she's 81. She's emptying the house. All right, so neither here nor there. She was pulling her hair off with this machine because the tension is wrong. So I'm going to finish it, and then when I'm done with that, it's not going to get finished today, but when I'm done with that, I think I'm going to bring it to the repair guy. We have one in town, but I think he only does Brother and Janon. I don't think he does Singer, so I think I'm going to have to go back to Union City to get it fixed. Anyway, I need a break. I'm gonna have a cup of tea or coffee. Maybe I'll have coffee. Yeah, then I'll start over. Not start over, but you know what I mean. What I'm gonna do is fill up a new bobbin, because and my machine is such I have to hold the thread, because I don't want to run out of thread in the middle of it. You ever heard the saying that says, do not bite more than you can chew? Do not bite more than you can chew.
Do not bite off more.
Isn't that, do not bite more than what you can... put the thread in, you idiot. Because, you know, let's face it, I'm always getting myself into huge projects, and I gotta say this one is particularly difficult only because I'm inexperienced. And you know what? How are you gonna learn? Right, Willie?
Yeah.
How does one learn? Let me move my thread up. Okay.
One learns by doing work.
One learns by doing work. That's what Willie's saying. Okay, that's right. You're not going to get better if you don't practice, okay? That is the truth. So I'm just going to roll it to keep the fabric taut enough. I don't want to sew my tablecloth with it. Oh boy. Okay, here we go. Zentangles it is. Yeah, I know what a Zentangle is. Is this up? That would help.
Oh, she's rushing.
Okay, we're going to start right here. If it doesn't work, then I'm just going to do regular straight stitches. Okay. Alright, so this is what it looks like. Zentangles. One big line. You're probably going to see it better when we get to dark fabric. And right here. Can you see that? Okay, so yeah, I'm in focus. Alright, so this is good. Not great. And what I'm going to do is, because I'm stupid like that, instead, I'm going to keep the bulk of the fabric, which is this right here. I'm going to keep it on the left, and we're going to see if I can manipulate the fabric better. So I'm just going to do this design like this throughout the whole block. And you see how it's grabbing the back, and it doesn't look like I have much of a tension problem, maybe here and there, but that's okay, it's the back, okay? Obviously my machine is not functioning right, and that's gonna be my excuse. Whatever. But I kind of like the way it looks over here, so we're doing pretty good. It's getting worse by the minute. I just broke the needle. Thank goodness I have more. And you know, I may not be all that good at this, but I'm loving it. I really am. Okay, the first block is done. So I definitely need to get my machine serviced, because let me tell you, you guys, this was gruesome in an enjoyable way. It was tough. It's just the tension is totally wrong on this machine. I did the best I could. There are some instances where the thread on top is lifted, and I'm not going to show you what it looks like in the back, because there's like about, I don't know, 20 million miles of thread on the other side because of the tension. But then again, you know, I created a bigger challenge for myself by using fabric that is not quilting fabric, so I paid the price. But you know what? It's done. So now in the middle, I just did a squiggle. Am I there? No, right here. See, I just did like a scroll, kind of like a, you know, whatever. Ad lib, we're gonna call it, and that went pretty well and smooth actually. So the whole thing is done. What I'm gonna do now is take a break. I don't even know what time it is. I think it's 5 o'clock, and I'm going to cut it. Well, yeah, cut the sizes. I'm gonna cut the sides here, and then I'm gonna add the backing. Now I am not going through this with the backing. Sorry, no, not with this machine. If I had time to go to the store and go and rent one of the Genome or Baby Lock, I would be able to do that, but not with this machine. I'm not going through this. So the back is going to be navy blue, and I'm just going to basically get it here. Well, I must be tired. I can't find my words. I'm just going to sew it here on the back, right on the edges, and then I'll do the bind. That's it. Hey, you know what? It's 6:45. I gotta make dinner. Yes, I still have the pile of magazine I didn't put in the garage for recycle day yet. Okay, I'm making chicken. I just got onions in here with vegetable oil, salt, pepper, and some fresh herbs. That's it. You can't see it. Hold on. There you go. Okay, and I have a whole bunch of skinless chicken thighs. I'm going to throw that in there, and then I'm going to let it simmer. So now, on the subject of quilting, because this is the obsession for today. Is it too late for coffee? Now I'll make a tea. Hold on. The fabric I have downstairs is basically cotton. Just like the cotton you would use for quilting. So in theory, if I was to quilt that, it would probably go much better than I'm sorry, I just had onion cutting. It probably would go much better and smoother than what I had with the canvas type fabric I just used. So what I'm going to do is cut a piece 2 sides, put batting behind it, and I'm going to do the same design with the squiggles. And it's basically going to mirror, if it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to mirror what I have on the front or on the top. And then I'll just do little hand stitches here and there to put it together. And then I'll do the binding, because that goes last. Hey, you know how people have a plan A and a plan B? Well, I think I'm on plan F for big fail. It's not working. The foot is broken. It was broken to begin with. The one I got doesn't work. It's too late for me to get another one. I broke a needle. So guess what? The back is here. It's gonna be super nice and thick. So basically I'm making a giant pot holder. And what I'm going to do is just sew the edges. I got the walking foot again, so that should work, hopefully. I'm just gonna do the edges just to basically sew them together. It's not gonna be as pretty as I would want it to be, but you know what? There's a big story behind this quilt, and I may actually attach a whole letter about the story of this quilt, because this is just like the quilt that could have been. Okay, let's get going. Okay, done. And you know what? It's small enough that I don't even have to stitch the back because it's not sagging or anything. So here we go. It's really, really nice and thick. I like that. So I cut the edges and tomorrow I'll do the bindings. Probably you can tell from the sound of my voice that I have rescued somewhat of a bad situation. It's not bad at all. It's the back is not quilted. I couldn't quilt it. You know why? You know what happened. But ultimately, I still have the quilt top, and it's nice and thick, so you can even put pots on it, hot pots. And I managed to quilt the design itself, despite having a machine that is really, really in need of repair. So let me clean up the mess that's around here, make it look like nothing happened, and then I'll see you tomorrow for the rest of this quilt. Phew.